Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your body feels twice as heavy as it did yesterday. At first, you might think it's exhaustion or an illness, but then you notice the floorboards creak more loudly under your weight. Your phone feels like a brick in your hand, and simply sitting up in bed leaves you breathless. You try to stand, but your legs tremble. Your heart is working harder than ever, and your breath comes in short, shallow bursts. In that moment, it hits you. Gravity has doubled. Welcome to What Happens If, the podcast where we stress test reality with bold what-if scenarios, guided by science, logic, and a healthy dose of imagination. Today, we explore what happens if Earth's gravity suddenly increases from the comfortable 1G we've known all our lives to 2G. No warning, no transition period, just an overnight shift that changes life for every living thing on the planet. Let's clarify our scenario. Earth's size and mass distribution remain the same, but somehow, maybe through a cosmic event, maybe through a change in the laws of physics, the pull of gravity at the surface instantly doubles. That means every kilogram now feels like 2. A person who weighed 70 kilos yesterday now weighs 140. A car that used to weigh 1.5 tons now feels like 3. Buildings, trees, animals, everything is suddenly twice as heavy. Without any change in shape or structure, physics still works the same way. Objects still fall at the same rate relative to their mass. Friction still behaves normally, and your coffee still spills if you knock it over. But the forces holding everything down are twice as strong. The change is immediate, and the body notices first. Muscles, tendons, and joints suddenly face loads they weren't trained to carry. Standing up becomes a heavy squat. Walking feels like trudging uphill, and climbing stairs is like wearing a backpack full of bricks. Your cardiovascular system has to pump against a greater pressure gradient. With gravity pulling harder on your blood, it takes more effort to get it from your feet up to your brain. This can cause dizziness, fainting, or even dangerous drops in blood pressure for vulnerable people. And it's not just you. Chairs strain under the doubled load. Weak table legs give way. Bookshelves bow under their own weight. And that precarious pile of dishes in the sink? Consider it gone. As the day goes on, the world starts to slow down. Walking becomes exhausting. Running is nearly impossible for most people, and sports come to an immediate standstill. Stairs are a dreaded challenge, and elevators, if they work, become the only way to move between floors. Transportation is affected in surprising ways. Cars can still move, but acceleration drops sharply, fuel consumption rises, and braking distances change. Trucks, buses, and trains may still operate, but loading them becomes a nightmare. Forklifts and cranes are suddenly underpowered, struggling to lift even half their rated loads. The supply chain grinds almost to a halt. Supermarket shelves start to empty, not from panic buying, but because delivery systems physically can't keep up. Ports are clogged with containers that can't be moved. Warehouses fill with goods stuck on heavy pallets, and manufacturing slows to a crawl as raw materials sit unmoved. Outside, nature is also struggling. Birds attempt to take flight, only to drop back down. Larger species, eagles, herons, swans, are grounded entirely. while smaller, more powerful flyers adapt better but still tire quickly. Insects can still move, but many lose their ability to jump or hover for long. Pollination slows, changing ecosystems almost overnight. Trees, especially tall and heavy species, groan under the strain. Shallow-rooted trees topple in even light winds, and branches snap under their own weight. Forest canopies thin, changing light patterns and affecting the plants and animals that depend on them. Rivers and oceans also change. Waves crash harder, pulled down more forcefully by gravity. River currents accelerate slightly, increasing erosion along banks. Even rainfall hits the ground with more force, compacting soil faster and potentially changing how water drains across the land. The human body wasn't built for this. Under sustained double gravity, your heart works overtime, pumping against a greater head-to-foot pressure difference. Blood pools in the lower body, swelling ankles and feet. Muscles fatigue faster, and small movements burn more calories. Joints wear down more quickly, and chronic pain rises dramatically. Fine motor skills also suffer. Hands tremble slightly as muscles work harder to hold objects steady. Tasks like typing, writing, coding, and more, or even eating, become subtly more difficult. Sleep changes too. You toss and turn less, but you wake up stiffer and more sore than before. In the days and weeks after the event, society scrambles to adapt. Engineers work to strengthen buildings, vehicles, and machinery. Stairs are replaced with ramps, elevators are retrofitted with more powerful motors, and urban design shifts to reduce the need for vertical travel. Warehouses and factories introduced powered exoskeletons to help workers handle heavy loads. Delivery companies develop smaller, more frequent shipments to spread the weight more evenly. Sports reinvent themselves. High jump and pole vault vanish, replaced by strength competitions, balance challenges, and short, explosive movement games. After months or years, humanity finds a new rhythm. People are stronger, at least those who can adapt physically, and new generations grow up with bodies slightly different from ours today. Denser bones, thicker muscles, more efficient hearts. Our cities become lower and more compact, with fewer tall buildings and more open, ground-level spaces. Nature adapts too. Flightless birds evolve new survival strategies. Plants grow shorter and sturdier. Animals become stockier. With shorter legs and lower centers of gravity, ecosystems settle into a new balance under the constant, heavy pull. A sudden jump to double gravity is unlikely in the real world, but exploring it reveals just how much of our lives depends on the constancy of a force we rarely think about. Gravity shapes everything, from the way our hearts pump blood, to the height of the tallest trees, to the speed of a passing wave. This has been What Happens If? If you enjoyed this deep dive into a heavier Earth, subscribe for more episodes where we bend the rules of reality, test the limits of imagination, and discover just how connected everything truly is. Until next time, stay curious.